So I'm glad to see you and happy to be in Berlin at droidCon. And I will present the topic how indie game developer can survive and, which is more important, can succeed on Android platform. So why am I talking on this? So I work as developer relations at Enhance. It's a tech startup platform for mobile developers to integrate various SDKs without downloading them. And we formed a big community around this technology. Right now we have 3,000 developers who use it, and they share their stories, how they managed to make games, promote them, how to solve several various issues. And what is the main problem for Android developers now is that every year, every quarter, the number of games is growing. And if a new developer comes to this market with my game, he says, OK, so there are so many games, how to make my own game noticed? And this is the main concern for developers everywhere, but especially on Android. And we can say that this is reflected in many jokes in the community. My favorite joke about indie game development is that two people meet. One says, "I've released my indie game." "Oh, great. Made many sales?" So he answers, "Not many, really. Just sold my apartment and my car." Yeah, so this is the skepticism towards the success of independent game development. But on the contrary, we managed to gather much data. We interviewed many developers and analyzed their stories. We have a community, FGL, which has 45,000 members, community around Enhance, 3,000 developers. Also, I run the surveys in Facebook groups, in Russian-speaking game developers forums. And it appears that it's still possible for indies to get the game noticed and to get 100,000 or millions of installs. And for me, I just made this picture spin like a sir because I'm making my own indie games. And in the total, recently I've managed to cross 1 million of installs for 3 biggest titles. And so this is the total number of Android installs, in which I didn't invest any money, just my time and my work with community. So, what in the common can we find in the indie games, in the modern indie Android games, which crossed 100,000 installs or millions of installs? So first, they start with very simple idea. They are not clones, but they involve a very simple mechanics which was not yet thought before by other developers. Here are the samples of games which I really like and very notable games on Android. So the top left game really made me jealous as a developer because every time I learn new programming language, I make a game which models gravity. But I just make a game, make it as a tutorial, then leave it and make something new. But these developers of Orbit game, they completed these mechanics when you have to launch bodies and let them orbit around the central gravity mass. And they completed it, released as a game. They got Google Play second place in the yearly contest, and they managed to reach 10 million of installs on Google Play. So the bottom game is a really fun game from Russian-speaking game developer whose nickname is Megabyte. And you see the game is called Handless Millionaire. Again, very simple idea. You have to pick your hand through the guillotine and get the money before the guillotine crushes and tears the hand apart. So this game has 3 million of installs and growing. Again, very simple idea and which grabs the player's attention and which was very easy to make a first prototype. By the way, about Handless Millionaire, this game was inspired by a game jam, which name was Greed. So the developer decided to make a game about greed. So the top game, it's about Maxwell demon, a concept from physics, when you have these particles, and your task is to move red particles to the red side and blue particles to the blue side. And I think you played this flipping knife game, yeah? Who plays? The bottom left picture. Okay, you have something very interesting ahead on your gaming experience, because this is the game Flipping Knife by Czech Studio, which was selected as top games on Android and on iOS as well. And the mechanics, as it starts, is also really simple. You have just swipe to throw the knives, the blades, the swords, and let them hit the target. And so this very common feature in the successful indie games which were released by indie teams is that they grab the player's attention instantly, and they are built around a very simple idea, simple but attractive idea, that we can say. So let's move further. So Android is a most friendly ecosystem for beta testing, and this is what Android developers must fully use is the beta testing feature. So recently, like 1 year ago or so, even more now, Google let us create an open beta. And those developers who submitted their games to the early access in Google Play in open beta, they noticed that as soon as the game gets to this category, it gives a good burst of installs. You get first we got 1,000 to install, then you can cross 10,000 or even 100,000 only from the early access on Google Play. So, and this is the feature which every indie who wants to succeed, who wants to grow the initial player mass should use. So submitting the game on Android to open beta is a need to succeed further. Then, as we submitted the game to open beta, it's made with two steps. First, you upload the game and launch open beta, let everyone download the game, but it will have beta marker in the store description. And then you can submit a form to Google Play to let them put your game into the early access section of this market. Then you will receive the player's commands, the suggestions. What's important, these commands are not visible to other players. So that's the difference between beta and regular release. You won't receive ratings. By the way, many players just write their ratings in plain text. But what's more important, you can answer the ratings, like in usual Play market, and all the successful developers who share their stories, they always answer the players' suggestions. Both good and bad reviews should be answered. It's even more important to answer bad reviews because the player cared enough of your game, so that she thought that the game is bad, but they also spent some time to write the review. It's essential to answer and to tell the player that, okay, you care of their opinion and you will work further. Sometimes I find it useful to use such a technique when you of course, receive the reviews translated in your native language, and if the original language of the review is Spanish, you can start with at least how thank you sounds in Spanish. Like gracias, in German, danke, in Russian, spasibo. So at least write thank you word in the native language of the commenter, of the player, and then you can write in English all your review. Then why open beta is important? Because it lets you gather statistics. So the most important parameter for games, for mobile games now is the retention. So obviously, you should measure the retention rate of the game. It means if like 100 players downloaded this, if 40 players keep playing on the next day, and if 20 players keep playing on the 7th day, this is excellent. And this is to which, what is your aim in improving your game. But also, you should track other statistics. For example, here is the example of how I analyzed the players' growth in my idle game, so how quickly they progress. So I noticed that some players progress very rapidly, others tend to progress very slowly. So now then I have to think, what is the reason for that? Perhaps it's bad tutorial, perhaps it's some hidden mechanics which some players uncovered and others did not. Perhaps it's bad game balance. So if you have a chance to track the players' progression, you should fully use this and track them and analyze. So then you have initial player base. They should be organized in the community. From my experience, I managed to get 7,000 players in my Facebook group just by adding a button or rather interactive element, join our Facebook group, and as the player clicks this button, taps this button on the phone, the player is moved to directed to the Facebook group and also receives in-game reward. So for me, a Facebook group creation was useful, and all the developers who use the same technique from my advice independently, they also reported a good result. So if the player is playing your game, do your best to stay connected with the players as long as possible. Why it's important to make a group, not a page? Because in the group, if the player posts something, their post will look equal to your post. So they will feel that they are the equal members of the group. If it's a page, they can only like a page or comment which is somewhere deeply hidden on the page interface. So making a Facebook group is also in the to-do list of indies, and especially mobile indies. What we can do in the groups, we can run a polls, what features to add into the game. We can gather bug reports, as it's a very useful tool to gather bug reports. Many players suggest their help in translation, and it's really very essential for the indies whose time is limited to get this type of help from the players. For me, I managed to find the translators to 7 languages from my Facebook group, and I'm very thankful for them. Other developers report the same too. So what else we can do to get players involved in the game beside the game? We can create a wiki page, especially it refers to the games with many upgrades, with some mechanics, with some parameters which can be listed in the tables. And it is very delightful to see when the players start filling the data in the wiki, not we developers, but the players, so they care enough to spend some time making our wiki page better. Other developers report Discord communities work well for them, and for quite a number of them, Discord really does work well. For me, more players I managed to get to Facebook than Discord. But we should use all the opportunities. So, of course, success means also financial success. And for monetization, for mobile monetization, banners are the past, and full screen ads are also the past, and also they're very irritating to the players. What is now widely used and widely successfully used are rewarded video ads, which are smoothly integrated into the gameplay process. The typical way looks like this. The player receives suggestions to give a reward, and if the player agrees to watch a video, then the reward can be doubled, something like this. For example, from my game, this is from Zombie Idle game, this is Adventure Capitalist, which is one of the top titles on mobile. And fun story that sometimes the players started complaining that they can't view ads. Have you mentioned this like 5 years ago that banner is not showing? I don't like this situation. But right now, when the ad is not shown in the game, the players complain. So looks like the developers managed to find the balance between monetization and players' experience. So the players select, okay, I want to spend 30 minutes of my time to get a bigger reward in the game. And we, as the developers, we should use this and earn money because we are living, we need money for living. And so it's very important to find the proper ad provider. So there are multiple of ad providers like Unity ads, AdMob, Applovin, Amazon ads, many of them. And we should constantly experiment which ad provider works better for your audience. Then sometimes there are situations when ads are not available, and we should also use this situation for our own good. Like in my game, I managed to, if the advertisement video ads are not available, instead of watching the ads for a reward, I suggest the player to tweet about the game and to get a reward. And every day I check my Twitter feed and find mentions about I'm playing Steampunk Idle Spinner, and this way I get several hundreds of free promoters of my game. So then various channels can be used to let the players know about your game. We shouldn't think that it's enough to upload it to Google Play or whatever other to Amazon, to SlideMe, or to other mobile stores and get the player know it. We should work for this, and from the experience of the players, there are such useful channels, for example, Reddit. So Reddit, it's very difficult sometimes to get your post not banned for spamming, but if you post about your game carefully, you can get a great boost of players' attention. So, for example, this is the game by Mana Potion Studios about the vans in the traveling by vans in the zombie apocalypse. So he posted about his game in the Vans subreddit about Vans. So would you like to play about this? So the game Flipping Knife, they asked the YouTube channels who review real-world weapon to review their game. For me, I managed to get the players' attention for my strategy game by posting about it in the strategy games, not strategy games forum, but historical forums. So there are, and also very useful is XDA Developers Forum. So we should spread the word about our game and to get the mass of our players' community. So as we are developers, we are indies, no one is telling us what to do, but we should ourselves organize our development process. So what can we do to keep organized? So first, I find very useful a Screenshot Saturday movement. Has anyone participated in Screenshot Saturdays? All right, yeah. So I will tell you, every Saturday, it's like game developers' tradition. Every Saturday, the developers show the screenshots or animated GIFs of their work in progress. And we hashtag it Screenshot Saturday. We post it in Twitter, on Reddit, in Imgur, in other game developer communities. And this participation in Screenshot Saturdays helps us get motivated and get to plan our work ahead. So I think, okay, by Saturday I have to post some new screenshot, so perhaps on Friday I have to code the working of some new in-game entity. Participation in game jams like Ludum Dare. Who has participated in game jams? All right, great. So I'm happy to see this because I'm also regional coordinator of Global Game Jam in Eastern Europe and also participated in Ludum Dare and other jams. So for me, participation in Game Jam, when you spend 48 hours solely on making a game, is a very great boost for productivity. Usually game jams start from a theme, and you should follow this theme and make a game. But why not to spend these 48 hours in a row, but to break through some plateau in your game development? So you just work in the mode of game jam, very intense work, but you add to your code. Another technique which helped me to get organized is to screencast the work and then submit my screencasts expedited 60 times to YouTube. And this time I reached two aims. I add some code to my game, and I also add promo materials for my game. So the developer of Zombie Idol launched the video on Twitch. And also we can use contests. There are multiple game developer contests which can be used as milestones for our game development. For example, soon there will be a big indie pitch in Vienna, and Game Connection Europe contest deadline will be on the 6th. So, and obviously, as we are speaking about Android, Android is much wider than Google Play, so we should use all the opportunities that our game is on Android to submit it to all the stores there are. So the biggest, besides Google Play, there is Amazon Apps. As many successful developers report, submitting to Amazon managed help them increase their income by 10%. And also there are GetJar, SlideMe, former Opera store, now there Bemobi mobile store, and many others. We should fully use the power of Android in our development. So to summarize, we should keep to the idea that time is money, as Ben Franklin said. And as we are indies, we don't have much money, but we have time. We should use this time wisely. So we should reduce development time by using simple gameplay and using simple art style. Simple doesn't mean very badly drawn, but simple which should be style consistent. So we should use any technologies which can integrate third-party services very easily. We should let the players spend their own time to promote our game. Like we should add share button, we should think how to integrate user-generated content, and how the players can post in our social network groups. And we should use our time in a more efficient way. We should get the most of our conference attendance to get more contacts. We should use game contests as deadlines, submit a screencast, and switch between various tasks in the development, and get regular feedback from the players if we are doing it right. So we should avoid doing the same job twice, like we should crowdsource analytics and use the experience of other players or other developers on what steps did well, what didn't do well for them, to avoid double work. And we should let our time pay back by integrating unobtrusive video ads. So also, as we are indies and we have a successful indie title, which proves to gain players' attention, this will help us get more profitable deals with the publisher if we decide to go this way. And also, right now, many publishers require indies to show the results of their soft launch before signing the contract. And but going with the publisher, we can get their support in user acquisition, we can get additional artists to our team and to help them promote our game. So, thank you. I wish you good luck, and I will be ready to answer your questions. And if you'd like to, I can review your game, make a video review of me playing your game and giving suggestions. So, thank you.